Tell me, do you believe Viserys wanted Aegon to succeed him?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down the images, words, symbolism, and callbacks from Season 2, Episode 4 of House of the Dragon that might go unnoticed if you're not paying attention. Number 10. A king rides to battle.
Is our father truly dead?
Yes, and they're going to make you king.
Many players in the war doubt Aegon's fitness to rule the Iron Throne, his family being chief among them.
I have no wish to rule! No taste for duty! I'm not suited! You get no argument from me.
We've discussed similarities between him and the Game of Thrones boy King Joffrey due to their circumstances and unsavory attitudes. But there are key differences too. Aegon instinctively wants to prove himself, and that desire sends him riding Dragonback into the conflict at Rook's Rest. This is something that Joffrey would not do during the Battle of Blackwater Bay in Season 2 of Thrones, despite Tyrion's insistence that the king's participation would inspire his people.
If you won't defend your own city, why should they?
What would you have me do?
Lead! Get down there and lead your people against the invaders who want to kill them.
Aegon's flight isn't quite selfless, but there's surprising bravery in the charge that's kind of admirable. We're still not expecting him to be a just ruler like his father, though. Number 9. Stokeworth and Tully.
I'm to wed Lolis Stokeworth.
Lolis Stokeworth? She doesn't strike me as your sort of girl.
This early scene with Damon and Sir Simon Strong references two family names that are worth stopping for.
This is Oscar Tully, grandson to Grover Tully. He is heir to Riverrun and the future Lord Paramount of the Riverlands.
Little Oscar Tully has the most obvious one, with Tully being the maiden surname for Catelyn Stark and the given name for Edmure Tully and Brynden the Blackfish. Another big mention is Stokeworth, which readers know belongs to a castle of significant military importance.
The castles of Rosby and Stokeworth have both fallen without siege.
Its house banners also appear on soldiers' shields during the Rook's Rest engagement. Back in Thrones, Stokeworth was also alluded to during the imprisonment of Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion's right-hand man Bronn mentions a bribe he had received to wed Lolis Stokeworth, and we even meet her briefly.
Unless she happens to perish before her father, then Lolis gets the castle. What? Ladies fall from their horses and snap their pretty necks all the time.
The castle has something of a fickle history, and Lolis's feelings about her sister fit right in with it.
She hates me. She calls me mean names, and sometimes, even still, she pulls my hair when Mother's not looking.
Number 8. A Conqueror's crown and a hand's necklace.
The magnanimous.
Let's go back to Aegon in battle mode, but this time we'll look closely at his armor. During his coronation, you might recall that he was ordained with the crown of Aegon the Conqueror.
The crown of the Conqueror, passed down through generations.
This valuable and meaningful piece of Valyrian steel regalia has now been fastened to young Aegon's helmet. His ancestor's rare diadem represents the Targaryen lineage, so while its inclusion might be honorable, the obvious exposure to combat seems unwise. Also showcasing a piece of important jewelry is Sir Criston Cole, who wears a chain of golden hands around his neck. The necklace signifies his position as the king's hand, substituted for a traditionally worn badge. You might have even caught Tyrion Lannister wearing a similar necklace back in Thrones during the Battle of Blackwater Bay.
I'm not entirely sure what you're suggesting.
I'm entirely sure you're entirely sure what I'm suggesting.
Number 7. It's all in the marbles. Small council sessions must be as endless as a day of white-collar business meetings. A tiny element of their set design features individual marbles for each advisor, with corresponding plates in which their spheres are to be placed.
Thank you, my prince. That's very helpful.
They're meant to denote that the owner is present and ready to contribute to the discussion, sometimes with more than words.
But I will have no part.
One of this episode's quicker shots shows Aegon's orb frantically circling the proper slot. In his frustration, he slams the attendance marker into its position. It's possible symbolism for the state that the escalating conflict has reached. All-out war is a guarantee that's just as locked in as that marble.
What would you have me do, Mother?
Do simply what is needed of you. Nothing.
Number 6. Damon the Ser? Daemon Targaryen is going through a lot right now, and we're really seeing him unravel in episode 4. He seems to be crossing between realities, seeing images of the Iron Throne and hearing bad omens for himself.
You will die in this place.
It might not be mental deterioration, though, as many characters throughout the House and Thrones universe have experienced similar visions. Sometimes called sight, the ability to sense shadows of the past and future has been present in both Bran Stark and Daemon's descendant, Daenerys Targaryen. He could be undergoing visions like those Dany saw when she visited the House of the Undying. We've yet to see if the mysterious Alice Rivers has any relation to them, but God's help Daemon if that's essence of nightshade she's giving him.
I've come to know the face of tortured rest well enough. Sleep can be thin in this place.
Number 5. A Clash of Kin. We've reached a remarkable season midpoint with the battle at Rook's Rest. With 3 of the most powerful living dragons savagely colliding during the fight, it really feels like the Targaryen civil war is underway. But 3 episodes ago, King Aegon unknowingly forecast one of the most exciting moments during a meeting with his council. He warned, somewhat matter-of-factly, that any enemies who opposed him would face both his and his brother's dragons in combat.
The River Lords will either declare for me, or they will meet Vagar and Sunfire together. And we can burn the blockade while we're at it.
And that is exactly what happens to the great warrior Rhaenys and her winged mount Meleys. Looking back, it feels like easily missable foreshadowing. Maybe Aegon took a lesson from Jake Gittes in Chinatown. He stated the story's ending before it actually happened.
I was trying to keep someone from being hurt. I ended up making sure that she was hurt.
Number 4. The Man Who Swings the Sword.
All who refuse will have their death.
During the events leading to Rook's Rest, Sir Criston Cole takes a man's life with Westeros' most popular style of punishment. Beheadings on both shows have often been reflective of the motivations and psychological states of those characters who perform them, from Robb Stark's difficult one to Theon Greyjoy's painfully botched execution.
Kingmaker. You're not fit for the White Cloak.
The first and one of the most iconic instances, though, was Eddard Stark's termination of a Night's Watch deserter. Like Bran, we never forgot the bitter lesson of Ned's words.
The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
You might find a few parallels in Cole's capital distribution, but he notably is the one who swings the sword. There's an engaging extra layer to Sir Criston's complexity here. Despite all of his dishonorable mistakes, he still maintains some sense of noble justice. Number 3. Broken heirlooms. Remember when Aegon lost his son and started wrecking the room? That model he damaged was his father's miniature replica of old Valyria, and another piece of it resurfaces in this episode.
Traitors and villains! Fire from the sky!
We momentarily see Alicent cradling a small dragon sculpture, which was gifted to her by the late King Viserys. Despite holding it delicately, she drops the figure and it breaks, perhaps representative of how easily the realm has slipped beyond her control. Aegon's metaphors are much more destructive, since we also see him shatter an intricate vase with an angry shove.
Were you also threatened to, Grace?
I could have been!
The differing manners in which they both dismantle their house's heirlooms fittingly reflect the way their decisions have contributed to war. This is why Targaryens cannot have nice things.
Do you think simply wearing the crown imbues you with wisdom?
Number 2. Aemond Steadies Vhagar. Hiding Vagar beneath the tree line is a clever trap for Rhaenys and Rhaenyra's forces. Aemond understands the importance of timing, and he crucially calms his overzealous steed before it's time to attack.
Bombas! Vagar! Sir Daor!
Your own muscles might have been too tense to think about this, but that simple action symbolizes some consequential growth in Aemond's character. It was Aemond's inability to curb Vagar that originally led to Prince Lucerys' monumental death.
No, 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 no! No, Vagar! No! Vagar, no! Go right out, Vagar!
Otto Hightower also cautioned restraint during some hefty advice on the season premiere.
I promise you, Aemond, you will have all the vengeance that you seek, but you must keep a grip on your impulses.
This moment shows that he's not only learned internal patience, but that Aemond now seems to have full command of the, quote, greatest single power in the Seven Kingdoms. That is sure to make the Targaryen prince one dangerous adversary in the wars to come. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Dagger of Aemond One-Eye. This cat's paw dagger sure has 9 lives. In our Season 1 investigations, we recognized this reoccurring knife as the same weapon to be used against Bran Stark and the Night King in Game of Thrones. Centuries earlier, it was in the possession of King Viserys and used by Alicent in a passionate attack against Rhaenyra and her family. We also spotted Aegon wielding it at his table earlier this season.
Call it what you will. I call it war.
Now, it's come to rest in the hands of Aemond Targaryen, after his older brother is left critically wounded in the wake of Rook's Rest. If Aegon ends up incapacitated because of his injuries, Aemond will be next in line to command. So, this story beat could disquietingly signify a dark passing of the torch.
But now they see you as you are.
What did we miss in episode 4 that you noticed? Ignite the fires below.
There are those who have mistaken my caution for weakness.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.